Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invest. As we can see, the DSLR has been fixed, which is great news. Today I just want to do a quick little update on a few different stocks. The first one is MVMD and why we've been dropping lately. Then I want to talk about CMC, CLOA Solutions, and why we've been dropping there lately. Then I want to talk about Exro, some of the things they've updated on their website recently, and where we might be seeing commercialization soon. Then finally, I just want to quickly talk about cryptocurrency, but not much there. I am bullish though in the near and of course in the long term. So getting into it, we'll talk about MVMD here first, right? Why we've been dropping lately. And it's mainly because of this news release that came out on September 9th, right? On Thursday last week. And basically about their annual general and special meeting here. But the big kind of thing is this share consolidation here, right? Which is essentially a reverse split. Now, a lot of the time, reverse splits are seen as negative because it shows that companies aren't hitting their targets, for example, to stay on a larger exchange. That is not the case right now. And it really doesn't warrant that much of a drop, because what they're saying here, right, is first of all, there's no current intention to complete the consolidation, which is the reverse split, right? Basically reducing the shares outstanding in a company, therefore raising price. Now, the reason they have this in here and the reason they want to be able to do the share consolidation is because they want to get onto a larger exchange, right? There's been talks from Dennis and sort of the rest of the team that they want to move onto a bigger exchange, and this is what I talked about last time, like the NASDAQ or something, right? Or the NYSE. Now, in order to do that, you need to hit certain requirements. And one of those requirements is to have a share price above, generally over $1 of a share price. So that's really why they're doing this. It's not because they're a failing company and they need to, keep their price above a certain point, or else they risk getting delisted, but more actually so they can move up to a different, bigger exchange like the NASDAQ. And that's why they want to do this. So really, it's not as big of a deal as this drop in share price has seemed. And it actually could be good news for the future because, again, like I mentioned in my last video, they could have those two things coming out at the same time. That is the uplisting to the NASDAQ and some sort of substantial news come out, right? Either whether it's on anything to do with oncology or potential revenues in the cannabis space or from those pilot projects in Bangladesh, etc. So again, they were saying they want to kind of take those things in concert, right, in order to kind of raise the share price there. And in order to get onto a larger exchange, they're going to need a higher share price. Now, again, they might not need to do this at all if the share price comes up, right, and they meet the other requirements in order to list on the NASDAQ. But for now, that's kind of the reason why they're doing this. And it has nothing bad to do with the company there, right? So that's kind of the first thing, and this is, I believe, the reason why we've seen a share decrease there. Moving on, we'll take a look at CMC, right? Why have we been coming down here? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and the main one here is the delay in those financial statements and having to restate those financial statements coming out for the last 3 months ended, right? And now people are taking this as bad news because of the cease trade order, so that insiders and company executives cannot sell their shares. But again, not necessarily a bad thing, right? But people are worried for things to come. Now, this one specifically, CMC .V, right? We've come down significantly. We're about at 60-cent mark here, which is, again, let's just take a look at that here. Looking back about a month here, right? This news came out on September 3rd originally, which is right here. Obviously, some people heard about it before. Some insiders may have sold in this range here. So really, we're about a 46% drop from those highs there. Again, likely not too big of a deal. We won't know until we see those restated financial statements, which should actually be coming out later today. Now, they have had tight cash in the past. Obviously, their financial statements are generally not that great, low cash, right? High operating costs, etc. However, I don't think that it's going to be a concern for the next financial statement. Of course, it is a going concern. And then, of course, on top of the cease trade order, what do we get? We got Knight Market Research coming out with another article on CMC September 14th, right? So today, and that's why we saw kind of a continued tank today. We did already see a bit of a bounce off there, off that 0.62 level, really. But again, we know Knight Market Research, we know they're basically completely full of it. They just go from stock to stock, pretty much trying to get investors to sell for kind of short-term gains here. And yeah, I mean, there's really no point in warranting even going through this. But part of the reason as well that we've kind of seen CMC continually fall here. Again, I don't think it's too big of a deal. And again, I also think we're going to see a bounce off of kind of this 0.63 level. And likely it's not the worst time to pick up some shares there. Now, moving into Exro Technologies. Lately we have actually been coming down in the price of Exro, even though we've been consolidating around that $4 level for so long. We came down really to that $3 level, and even dropped as low as $2.85. Since then, obviously today we've rallied about 8%, and over the last 5 days we've rallied about 18% because of some of these new developments coming out, because of the team expanding so much, because of Sue's words lately, which came out. You can read those on the website. But the two big things that came out today, or edited today on the website, was this, right? They updated their kind of coil driver and their BCS here. So this Second Life energy storage system really is starting to gain traction now, and starting to really move from concept to, slowly to commercialization here. Meanwhile, Coil Driver, we're pretty much at commercialization here, and we should be expecting revenues quite soon. Again, Sue says we're on target for the 2022 milestones. As per usual, Sue and Exro as a team are always accurate in their milestone predictions when they're going to hit what targets. So again, we should be seeing revenues soon. I am on par with kind of that $8 price target that most of the analysts covering this stock have. Now, as well, what's really interesting is you can now actually contact sales in order to, not necessarily order the 100V coil driver, but because it's specific to kind of each individual company looking to implement those Exro's coil driver into their technology or into their vehicles, etc., right? But being able to contact them and actually, seeing Exro moving into those sales here is great. And again, speaks to commercialization there as well. And again, with the 800V coil driver too. And now this is a really big development here as well, because this moves into, those, again, municipal vehicles, commercial vehicles, heavy duty vehicles. We see it here. But the concept was already there with the 100V coil driver. Now they still had to do some adjustments, etc. But the proof of concept, again, was there with the 100V coil driver. And they just had to expand that to the 800V, 600V, etc. But again, we can contact sales now. And again, speaking to that commercialization of Exro and potentially seeing revenues here soon. So good things happening in Exro. I am excited. There's a lot of people talking about this company right now. And again, we have that new application too, which I did talk about last time with those chargers, right? Or potentially EV charging stations. And as well, potentially getting into that solar game, which is something that's very speculative, but that I speculated on as well in my last Exro video. Now, moving quickly to Bitcoin, Ethereum, other cryptocurrencies, I am bullish on the entire kind of sector there. My favorite is Ethereum. I do think it could more than double over the next 1 to 2 years here at the max. Of course, starting off with a rise in Bitcoin as well. Those are the top two there, right? Doge and ADA are also two that I am positioned in, both with about the same value there. Ethereum is my largest holding. And again, kind of the last time I talked about cryptocurrency, I said I wouldn't be buying, and that was at that 4,300 level, right? Since then, we came up to, almost 5K again and dropped back down to around that 4,200, 4,300 level. And we're sitting around 4,200 right now. What's changed since then? Not many kind of old holders of cryptocurrency that have held their coins for a long time are selling. And also we had that big drop, came back up, and again are kind of consolidating at this, 4,200 level here. So not too bad of a spot to buy in. I did buy kind of a little bit there at 4,100-ish. Canadian, right? But again, I was buying that dip when we came down that 50% from all-time highs. So bullish on crypto in general there, and not too much else to say about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe as always. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about everything I've said. And if you want any more information on anything that I've talked about today, or otherwise. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next video.